So we're going to dig into bumpers, and bumpers are a fantastic tool for retrievers. They help us achieve goals. They can throw marks, run blinds. They're just a great training tool for us. But there's a big rhyme or reason to why these are the colors that they are, the materials that they are, and so we want to dig into it. And the first thing we want to cover just right away, because probably the biggest epiphany, the aha moment, is the reason to get an orange bumper versus getting a white bumper. So let's talk about orange. So from everything I've told from all of my retailing friends, they say orange is the most popular color bought, but it's probably the opposite of what it actually should be. Let me explain. So why an orange bumper? Why do people get an orange bumper? I believe people get an orange bumper mainly because I'm a hunter, I'm a pheasant hunter, I think orange just naturally makes sense for me and my hunting dog, so I'm gonna get orange. I can see it easy, it's great. And those are all, I think, good reasons in your head. The problem with it is the way that a dog sees in the colors and the hues is that the dogs cannot distinguish, or have a very difficult time distinguishing orange against specifically green backgrounds. It almost disappears to them. And it's very obvious when you watch a dog, even as much as just in the backyard here, they could run right by an orange bumper. They can be right in the area and they just can't see it. They have a hard time figuring out. They have a hard time locating it. So that orange disappears to them. Why that's so important to know is because specifically for young dogs, we want them to be able to use their eyes. We want them to be able to use their natural gifts. Watch something go down, go pick it up. That's where the white comes in. White sticks out to them. They can see white a long ways away. It doesn't disappear, it doesn't hide. They can locate it very easy. They can watch it, use their eyes, go get it. We want our young dogs to be successful when we're throwing retrieves for them. The white is going to help them be successful because they can watch it, they see it go down, they can go get it. Success is what we want for our young dogs. So using the proper tool to make them successful is very important, so that we can help build their confidence and in turn make them a great hunting dog. So the question then becomes, why orange? Why would I even get an orange bumper? Well, when you start doing stuff like blind retrieves, which is a retrieve that the dog does not see go down, and we have to use teamwork, we have to use whistles and hand signals to get you back to where that is, which is very applicable in a lot of hunting scenarios. The dog is not going to see everything that goes down. That is where the orange bumpers come in. In that type of a training scenario, we don't want them to use their eyes. We don't want them to be able to locate something. We want them to work with us, be a team player, and let's go do this together. Don't use your eyes. So there are times that we want in training to make it to where the dog can't use their eyes. That's where the orange comes in. So knowing that difference between white and orange is a big deal in making your dog successful. Now, let's move on to another variation, which would be the black and white. Okay, so couple things. So why the black and white was really made was to create almost like a strobe-like effect. So if you think of like this, spinning, or even this, spinning like this, it's supposed to replicate a duck's wing beat. So when a dog is sitting looking in the sky and there's that flap, 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 flap of the wings, a dog can see it, locate it, and see the bird. That is what this was supposed to replicate. I think it does a pretty good job at that. What I love about it is that up here in Wisconsin, up here in the north, we get a lot of snow. So our white bumpers disappear in that snow, and so that black and white helps them pick it up. The other reason is that if you think about backdrop like this, to where that green is going to be dark to them and that light blue sky is going to be very light. Okay, so if I throw this bumper right here and I throw this, they're going to be able to see the white as it's in the dark, and then the black is going to show up better as it gets up into the light, and then the white back down. So it's allowing the dog to use every advantage to see the bumper go down. If this is purely white, when it would get up into that really lightish blue color sky, it is going to be difficult for that dog to see. So again, just think about your dog. If you are wanting your dog to be able to use their eyes, watch the bumper go down, and successfully go pick it up, you want to make sure you're understanding all the variables of how the dog sees in reference to what color bumper you should be using. Now there's a different material as well. So we have rubber, we also have canvas. So the pros and cons to both. So the colors still apply. Orange is still very difficult for the dog to pick up, to distinguish it against that green background, and the white is easier for them to see. I love canvas. I'm a big canvas bumper guy. I love it because it's a very natural feel for a dog. When you think about, we're trying to make things look and feel a little more like a bird, to get them acclimated to it and trained for it. This is going to be more realistic feeling. It's very natural feeling versus that rubber just isn't. But the con to it is that as you can see, it gets very dirty. It's going to, especially if you do a lot of water work, this is getting wet and dry and wet and dry, maybe in some of the grunge and muck in the water. This is going to hold a smell. Now, holding a smell might be a positive thing for you. I'm not a big scent application person on my bumpers, but a lot of people are. And so if you use scent, the canvas is going to hold that scent where that rubber is going to wash off. Now, you might want it to wash off, right? You might get to the end of a training session, you want to wash it off, clean it off, and let it not smell like that. That's where the rubber comes in. So again, it's pros and cons of everything. What is the best tool for you? Find the best tool for you and be able to go apply it into your training sessions. The last thing for me on bumpers is the size. So this would be a puppy bumper. So if you think about an 8-week-old puppy coming home, little ball of fur, super happy and excited, wanting to, eager to go do something. I don't want that little puppy going and trying to pick up the bumper that's as big as he is. I want him to be able to take something he can easily manage, he can pick up, he can fit in his mouth, he can lift up physically and carry. That is how we're going to build this young puppy's confidence. And not only puppies, maybe a smaller dog. I have a little field cocker named Alvin. He's a tiny little guy. Now, I've worked our way up to where he uses these big bumpers very consistently, but when he was younger, he was even smaller. It's even more important for him to use an object that he can pick up, he can lift. Again, I'm trying to build confidence. If I can build confidence in a dog, I can make them successful and build upon that. So there's a rhyme or reason to all of this. The biggest thing is finding what you are looking to achieve out of your dog, out of your training sessions, and pick the right tool for the job.